Welcome again, guys. Today we are going to explore the bypass trigger option that I want to, or method that I want to present. Let's see, so let's just start with the basics. I'm going to create a new app, so I'm just going to create a blank app, canvas. Let's go with tablet this time. I'm going to call this app bypass triggers. Okay, create. So I'm going to create the issue so that we're all on the same page, and then I'm going to show you how to bypass that. I've checked PowerApps, and sure, if you're watching this video, you know that the bypass triggers, or triggers can't be bypassed, triggers on tables. So these are the after insert, after update, or whatever. Yeah, all those, they can't be, when that exists on the table, it doesn't allow you to add records to the table. Okay, are you gonna respond? See, I'm just gonna refresh this page. For some reason it's not responding. Okay, let's see, I just want to make sure. Yeah, should be good. Okay, so we're going to insert. So let's start with inserting a label. So what I want to have here is I want to add a record here. Let's just make that nice and bold. Center, yeah, center there. Center there. Let's create our data source. I don't have any data sources connected, so let's create a data source. We're going to create, so I've got this table, I've got this local DB database, and then inside it I have this table, which is just a users table. There's one user in there. You know what, let's delete this table so you don't think I've tweaked anything again. Let's delete that. Okay, so there's no tables. Let's create the table. Okay, tables created. Now let's call T users. We're going to connect to that now. So I'm going to add a data source, SQL. That, and then T users should be the only table that appears here. Don't know why it's loading so long if there's just one table. Okay, this here, this here, this here, this here. Okay, there are T users. Let's connect to that. So that's our one data source that we've got. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to add a data table first. This will allow us to see and monitor any changes in the table. So let's say I want a name, surname, and create it on. So okay for that. Obviously there's no records in there yet because we haven't added anything. So this will be our little reference table. Just going to rename this reference T users, and then just like to add DT on the end for data table. Okay, and then that I just want to add a border as well, so it can look like something. Yeah, and then we'll just shove that to the bottom. Now for add record, this is where we're going to have our input form. So let's do this, and then here I want to say the data source is T users. What fields do I want? I want the name, surname, and create it on. let's add that. I want it as one column, and I want it as new. The default mode should be new. Okay, so now what's going to happen? Okay, let's just unlock all of these. Another thing with forms, what I normally do, because I want to control the error messages myself, and if there should be error messages, there shouldn't be any error messages if you work your fields properly. So I like to delete the star visible, delete this error message, delete it there, delete it there. A quick way to find it, if you haven't done this but are now thinking of doing it, is to search in here. You search star, there we go, or you search error, maybe say error M, and then you can just delete it from here. Let's find that star, delete that as well. Okay, so just clear that. So here we got our form. I'm just going to rename this as well. This is the T users form. Okay. Here we got our different fields. So this I want to set to automatically go to today's date. So let me just resize this. So you select this, and then where it says default date, just delete that. You say today, curly, curly. There we go. So that's today's date. Okay. So what will happen now is when we play, and I say Joe Smith. Forgot. I didn't add any button, any submit button. So I'm gonna add a button, put it over here. Just call that save. And then what do I want? I want on select. I want to submit form. What form do I want to submit? The T users form. And then also after the submission, I want to refresh T users. Right, so what that will do is it will refresh our little reference table or grid here on the side. Just add a semicolon just for good practice. Okay, so now when I say save, that should go here after these. After this, there we go. There's our first record. Yeah, you see what's happening here. That is because I did not state reset form. What do I want? What form do I want to reset? The T users form, semicolon. Okay, so now even though it's doing that, if I just say save, it's going to come with the error obviously because there was nothing there, but it's still available. Okay, so we got the one record. Now we are going to add a trigger in the database onto this table, onto the T users table. Okay, so I got it already scripted. So what this trigger does is after an insert, it will raise an error. Doesn't matter what type of trigger it is. Any trigger will break the form. Anyway, let's create the trigger. It's called tr_T users error message. Just run that. Okay, that's done. So now after an insert, it should raise PowerApps trigger bypass. Should raise that error. So I'm just going to do an insert with the John Smith over here. Insert, as you can see, PowerApps trigger bypass. one row was affected. Yes, it did insert, but it still raised the error. So now if we go back to our PowerApps, you know what, maybe we should just add a button here for just refreshing this table. Let's delete the, let's comment out that, and let's comment out that, and then say this is our refresh. Okay, so now if we refresh, there should be another entry, which is the manual insert we just did. But now also remember that we got a trigger on the table, so submitting from this form now should return an error, which is why you are here, because you want to see how to bypass that. So let's see what name now. I'm running out of names already. Jim Davids, whatever, save. We should get a lovely error message there. It says the requested operation is invalid. To users, to what enable triggers, blah blah. Okay, cool. So now the fun part starts. Okay, so how are we going to bypass this without Power Automate? It's probably ways in Power Automate by now to bypass this, but I'm going to show you how to do it without Power Automate. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create another table. We got a second table. This will just contain an ID and a field that says script with envarchar max as the character type. Okay, that table is created. There's nothing in this table. There's no triggers on this table. As you can see now, we've got ttemp and we've got users. Back to our app. Let's go back to the editing mode. Yeah, and this is giving me that lovely error. We are going to connect to ttemp. Okay, just follow along here. So I'm going to say SQL. Select that. We should now have ttemp. Let's connect to that. Okay, ttemp is connected. I'm just going to refresh this since we added the trigger, changes on the tables. Okay, and then back here I want to add a form. Okay, doesn't matter where this form is, it's not even going to be visible. We'll hide it afterwards, but this will link to ttemp. And then what do I want to see for ttemp? Add that script field, just add it there. That's the only field. Just say 1, and this will be new as well. Okay, again delete the star visibles, just unlock it first, and then delete, and then delete the error message. This field, okay, this field. Okay, what I'm going to do now, in this field I'm going to script the insert into this table, into the users table. Okay, so let's see, what do I want to do now? I want to grab the little insert that we did. Where's that insert? I want to take this, right? Let's just delete this. Take it up until there. Take it up until there. Let's go back to our app, and then here where it says default, I want to say commas, that, like that, and then I want to say and then I want to take this value, so copy that there, copy the data card value 1, or whatever name you've given that field. Say that dot text. Okay, and then let's see, Let's say and then I want to remember how the script goes. There's a comma, sorry, there's a, so open this again. The first thing we do is that, because it's a string, comma, just complete this so they can change color. And then the next field is also a string, the surname field. So we do that, and then we take the surname field. Okay, come back here, put that like that, and then dot text. And then we say and, sorry, here we have to say and as well. And then that last one, we're going to say and that, close the string, comma. Now we're going to do the date. So remember, to get the date, you just put get date in SQL with the two curly braces, and then you close that and you say that. Okay, so this let's see what that looks like. Okay, so let's play, and then let's say Mike what, I'm just going to take Smith. Okay, so now if we were to copy this, because this now should obviously output this, I'm going to copy that. Let's go back to SQL, just paste it under this insert, see what it looks like. It looks exactly the same as an insert. Okay, let's just add that over there, because yeah, just good practice. So let's add at the end, let's add that. Okay, so that should now, if I copy it, should be exactly the same. Let's delete this one, paste. Okay, so Mike Smith, and obviously doing this insert will work. Yes, so now that we've got the SQL script to do a manual insert, we are going to or you might need to download the SQL CMD utility, that first thing. Just click on it, opens up, and then you just download whichever one you need for your operating system or architecture of your PC. I've already downloaded the 64-bit one and installed it, so I've already got my script ready. Basically this is just a normal text file that I've changed to a bat file, given it a name, given it a location, so it's on my C drive in the SQL CMD folder that I created. It's not already created. And then inside that I've got a bypass triggers folder just to organize things, and then I've got my script part 1 .sql, which I'll show you now. So this first, okay, so you start with SQL CMD. That takes away the header. Okay, just remember that. We'll come back to that later. It takes away the header. Then you got your connection to your server. In my case, this is just SQL Express that I'm using on my PC. Then I've got an input parameter. My input parameter is reading a local file on my PC. This location, that file. My output parameter is storing to the same location but with part 2 and the end. Okay, so now let's look at the first file. The first file looks like this. We set no count on, Okay, the reason why you want to set no count on is so that it does not, your output does not show rows affected. Okay, it only shows you, for example, selecting script from local DB temp, it will only show me the field, what's in that field, what's in the script field, the record. It will only show me the record. It won't show me the record one row affected, because there's only one record in there. And then this header part is removing script as the column name from showing in the result as well. So the output for this, yeah, it's not ready yet. I need to run that. Okay, so let's go back to our app. I've showed you the basics of using SQL CMD. There's just another way of running SQL in command prompt. Let's say that. Let's go back to our app. Okay, so over at our app, I now want to submit this back to the ttemp table. Remember, this is the ttemp table. This form is linked to ttemp. Where is this form? There. So we've got it linked to ttemp. Just make it like that, and then let's do this. Let's resize this one reference table so we can add another one. Let's move that up, move that reference over there, and then add another data table of ttemp. Edit the fields. I want to add the script field. Add. Put that. This one. Just go away. Why is this thing not moving? Seriously, why is this thing not moving? I'm missing something here. Oh, what just happened? Just undo that, whatever that is. Undo whatever. What did you do? I'm selecting the wrong thing. Okay. Anyway, so just insert some labels here so that we don't lose our minds about what's what. So for that, we've got the T users reference over there. Let's make that bold so we can read it. Make it maybe center, and then okay, copy that label, paste. Here we got our ttemp reference. Just add a border here as well, so this doesn't look so sad. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, just make this shorter so we can get rid of that bar. So we got that. Here we want to include the refresh form. Okay, the users things is getting done there. Then instead of, let's do this, let's delete submit form. I want to say, what's that form? We didn't give it a name. It's just called form 2. I want to submit form 2. Why is it not? Oh, it's not T form, it's just form 2. Form, identify yourself. There you go. Form 2. Then I want to reset the form. So I'm not going to submit this form because we know it's going to fail. Instead, we're going to submit this section over here. Then it will refresh the T users. I also wanted to refresh the ttemp table, so it will refresh this as well. Okay, just give it the border here. It's going to look like something. Okay, So what will happen now is when I click on save, we still stick with Max Smith because I can't think of any other names now. We're going to save. That's going to disappear. This, I'm not really sure what will happen here. In fact, we need to add a reset form on that. Reset form 2. Okay, because once that resets, I want this also to reset. If that's blank, this should also be blank. Okay, so that will refresh. It will probably still look the same because we can't see that section there. Nothing will happen here yet. Entry should appear over here. Okay, let's just add the reset for the temp, for temp here as well. That should allow that to also refresh. Okay, so let's save this. We won't get an error because it's not submitting the form. Something happened here, nothing happens there. There's our entry. Okay, so now back to our bat file, this file. I've got it stored here. Okay, try and increase the size. Can't really, but anyway, this is this file. I'm going to run this file. What this will do, okay, is it's going to take script 1. It's going to run or execute script 1 or script part 1. It's going to execute this, and then it will output it, or its output will come over here. It will appear over here. Okay, this should ask me, do I want to refresh since the file got changed? Okay, so let's go back here. Let's run this as administrator. Split second. I don't know if you saw that. But what happened was this stays the same. This one will ask, do I want to reload it? And what do we have here? We've got that insert, which is what's populated into the script field. Okay, now the next thing that you want to do from here to just kind of automate this whole process is you want to click on your start icon and you want to search task scheduler. I'm going to open task scheduler. Just maximize this. I'd say create a new folder here. Wait, how do I create a new folder here? Jeez, how do I? I'm missing something. What happened to creating a new folder? Let's just check something. Maybe I should open it as admin. Makes no difference. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So there, why is it not here? You don't have to open as admin. Ignore that part that I said. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna create a new folder just to have some order. I'm gonna call this PowerApps, so I know that anything related to PowerApps I'll store inside this folder. Okay, so there we got the folder. Now we want to create a new task. Let's just call this bypass trigger for now, since that's the name of the folder. Everything's just named the same. I want to say run whether the user is logged in or not. We've got my account. You can obviously change to whatever administrative account or a different account you want to have run these or this job. I want to run with highest privileges, and I'm using Windows 10, so I'm going to say configure for Windows 10. Then I want to say or add a trigger. So the trigger for this It's on a schedule. It's now 19, it's actually 1940, so let's say 1945, and then I want to repeat the task every 5 minutes. Okay, for 1 day. Yep, that's fine. Stop if task runs longer than 30 minutes. So okay, so it's gonna start at 1945 and then repeat every 5 minutes. So 1950, 1955. Okay, and what actions do I want? I want, say, new, start a program, browse to my C drive, SQL CMD, PowerApps triggers, this bat file that says part 1. Save, open. Okay, now everything we've done so far will be automated to that point, but what we actually need to add here is another bat file. This one will be part 2. Okay, let's say edit notepad. So I want to say 2 is my input and I'm taking away my output, so I don't want any output. I probably don't need the header part, but just leave it like that. Okay, so I want to put file number 2, say new, go to file number 2, say okay. So it's gonna execute that, then it's gonna execute that. Okay, conditions you can change as you need to here, and then change. I don't need to make any more changes. I'm done. And now it's asking for my password. This is your normal Windows account password. Why am I forgetting my password now? Okay, remember this will run whether I'm logged in or not. So even if I'm at the lock screen, obviously your PC have to be on. You don't need to be logged in, but it needs to be on, at least at the login screen. Let's say okay. Okay, there's our job. Last run is obviously showing what it's showing because we haven't run it yet. Let's see, it shows you when it's gonna run. So in about 3 minutes it's going to run. So let's just recap about what's going to happen here. The second bat file that we created will execute part 2. Part 2 is doing the insert. This is bypassing the trigger because you're running a SQL script, not executing this on PowerApps, although it got initiated from PowerApps. So at 1945, right, I'm going to hit refresh here. In fact, let's add, so it's gonna do an insert, and then we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let's add another script file. Let's call this part 3, and this is just gonna do a cleanup. Say cleanup, and then this needs to, yeah, that's already doing that. Crap, we got one minute remaining. Part 3. What do I want part 3 to do? Edit part 3, and let's go clean up. Just save that, add that in here. Action, start a program, browse, part 3. Okay. Hopefully I'm done in time. There we go. I think I'm done in time. Let's go back here. So now at 9:45. Crap. Edit. Truncate table t temp. Okay, so I wanted to stop that. Okay, let's just see what happened. I don't think it happened, so I was hoping it would. Let's see if I refresh this. So there we can see it ran. The job ran successfully. Let's just refresh this. I should have a Mike Smith entry over here. I was hoping to clear out this as well from the temp table, but I don't think I reached that in time. So let's just see what happens. It's still refreshing. Wait, I think I missed something. Let's refresh again. Values. Yeah, everything looks right. Okay, for some reason it hasn't done anything. Let's see why. I'm gonna run this, I think because I was busy with the file. So it's running the 3 files. If I refresh this, we should have an updated time. Let's go back here, refresh. Oh, you know what? You know what happened here? I think it failed. I think it failed, and I'll show you exactly why I think so. Here, you need to use the full. Is it the UNC or the full name? Just use the database local DB, right? db.schema.that. Okay, that's going to be our entry. We're going to clear this out because it's going to fail forever. So it's that there, and then also actually, yeah, I put it in the wrong. Cut this out, see what remains. Here I want to say local db.dbo.users. Okay, it's truncate of ttemp. Truncate table ttemp. Okay, ttemp has been truncated. So let's go back here, clean up. Also want to say local db.dbo.ttemp. Save that. See if there's any more. Yes, I want to. Yeah, it's probably still the same. See, yeah. Okay, so let's edit this again so we can have it open. So I'm gonna script, and then port 3 underscore clean up with a port 1. Okay, I need to do the submission. Mike Smith, save, come on, save, there we go, local DB, but what? there. It should be done. It should be done. Let's see what happens. It's still doing its thing, but what I actually want to do is refresh so I can show you that that record should now be there and this should be blank. It's still hanging. Not sure what PowerApps is doing, but I'm just going to click refresh. There, that's blank. This should now have another entry. Where's this entry? How's this thing taking days? There we go. We've got our entry. Yeah, so that's how you bypass triggers. Yeah. If you do have any questions, don't ask me anything intense. You saw the level of what I was doing. Just keep it English. But yeah, if you have anything you want to ask about, you can leave a comment. Leave a like. Yeah, because you saw the process. Okay, see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Cheers.